been researching the history of South Carolina broadcasting really since 2004. We've taken trips to do oral history interviews, and we've gone to archives in Columbia, South Carolina, in Charleston, South Carolina, and in Washington, D.C., the National Archives in College Park, Maryland. So we've done a lot of trips that have been funded by Affirmative Advantage. My goal is twofold: to really help students learn how to do historical research, and also to produce scholarship. And the scholarship can take the form of conference papers, journal articles, and ultimately a book. So far, I've had several conference papers out of this and 3 journal articles, and I'm still working on the book.
Working as Dr. Armstrong's research assistant has been a really good experience because I've learned a lot about the history of broadcasting in South Carolina, but I've also learned about how to do research and how to answer questions and conduct a long-term project. And there I looked at documents from WBT, the station in Charlotte, North Carolina. But that was really interesting. Even though it was a North Carolina station, I got to look at program listings, and I learned that their reach probably covered South Carolina. So I saw what South Carolina audiences listened to and expected to hear on their own local stations.
We found original licensing documents for some of the very first broadcast radio stations in South Carolina. We looked at a few for North Carolina as well, because there was a kind of an interesting interaction between North and South Carolina in terms of broadcasting.
Jillian, what year is that from?
It's from 1932, and it looks like they rejected Virgil Evans' application to increase his frequency. There I looked at the logbooks from both the red and the blue networks at NBC. So I saw all of their program listings in the year of 1937 and some of the affiliate stations that picked them up.
And so that gave us some valuable background information. It was really exciting too that we're looking at original documents and found a couple of documents, for example, inter-office memos at NBC that were signed by David Sarnoff, who is a major figure in U.S. broadcast history, and there was his signature right there. So at one point that document was in front of him and he signed it.
We're not only looking at which stations developed when, we're looking at what kinds of programming they had, whether it came from local areas, whether it was local content, or whether it came from national networks, and then what people in South Carolina wanted to listen to. Did they prefer the local content, or did they prefer national content?
With the information I found about the band yesterday, I think it's worthwhile to keep looking through those.
Students gain a very specific knowledge of how to conduct communication studies research, how to identify and find primary sources. But on a larger scale, they also learn valuable lessons about gathering and evaluating information, and that applies across a lot of fields, even beyond the academic world, into the business world or the nonprofit world. And I think this qualifies as one of those, because the students who work with me on this get a lot of individual attention, and for me it's very gratifying to be able to work with students this closely over a summer.